Olá a todos, estamos aqui com o Dr. Seidman, que vai estar cá presente em Portugal com o seu um seminário sobre Hunyuan Medicine. Em outubro deste ano, falará também da parte da infertilidade. Então vamos começar a entrevista para que todos possam ter uma noção daquilo que vai ser o seminário. Hello, Yaron. First, I want to thank you to be here and accept my invitation to this video. I invited you to this interview because I think it's important the participants know a bit more of what they are going to learn, and there is no one better than you to explain that. Yeah. So, Yaron, what is
Hunyuan medicine is a big topic, but if I wanted to summarize it in one sentence, it's basically medicine that is very interested in finding out about life. What is life is, how is that related to disease, how to remedy it. In other words, instead of just saying that medicine is limited to physical symptoms, like I have stomachache, back pain, we also have this addition talking about the life of a person, how we live, why we live, how long we live. This is if I wanted to characterize Hunyuan medicine, it's what makes it a little different. Yeah, but we also have our own approach to classical Chinese medicine. Yes. So there are different approaches how to learn Chinese medicine or classical Chinese medicine. So it is true we deal a lot with the classics of Chinese medicine, the Yellow Emperor, the Shang Hanlun, and all these. But we have a very critical eye in the sense that we really want to find out what's right, what's not, what's working, what's not. So it's not so much that we want to learn everything. This is a big topic. I'm just introducing it here. It's like the way of being critical of the classics, but in a constructive way. In other words, you want to learn out of it the essence instead of just believe it blindly. This is our idea of learning the classics.
Mm-hmm. And do you teach complete method?
So again, in the classics, it's a vast body of knowledge. You have many people over a long period of time saying many different things. So for us, using the classics is in a way of distilling out of it, getting out of it the essence, what I call the gold nuggets, like the most important things, and then making out of it a very coherent system, a method, how to understand the theory and how to apply it in the clinic. So in other words, we don't just copy. Let's say in the Shang Hanlun they use some formula, so I just copy them. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, I'm just copying some formula. But rather, first of all, we want to be very clear about the principle behind it, and then how is that connected to the body and to disease, and from that to the practical side of it, like how to do the herbs, how to do the acupuncture, how to change the herbs. At the end, our application is the most important part of Hunyuan medicine. It's like the application in the clinic, how to use it, but it has to be very coherent and with a reason, and it needs to be effective. Like it's working, and I have a reason why I do it, and the reason needs to work. That's the entire logic of the medicine. In other words, we extract theory from the classics, but then we filter it, we distill it, we make it more clear, so we can learn it in a clear way. Everybody understands when we learn and what we learn, and then the application works. And when we need to change the application, I can explain a few words later too what I mean. But from theory to practice, everything has to be very well connected. Everything has to be very concrete and connected. So it's not like we're learning theory from the classics, but at the end I do application that is not connected to the theory. Like, I learn theory of yin and yang and 5 elements, but at the end when the head hurts, I do this. So if the head hurts and I do this, I don't really need to learn the 5 elements and this. I just need to learn the end. This is something we have in Chinese medicine today, that problem of disconnect between learning theory and then applying it in the clinic. For us, the theory is exactly the clinic. There's no disconnect, and this is something special about Hunyuan. People normally are not so used to it. They use for a lot of theory, and they use for a practical application that has a reason. You do this in the clinic because of that. But really the yin yang and this is kind of very far. It's not very connected. And in Hunyuan medicine, we improve upon it, making this connection very clear, very concise. Yeah, you can say that, but in order to do that, you cannot anymore blindly take all the theory as a whole, because much of it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work, but it sounds nice, and it's not helpful to the patients, this is not, it's not so good, or we call it, it's not so relevant. And this in the past, some people, have different opinions. Some people say, look, the classics is all gold. But I want to share with you, the reason that I'm talking like this is not just because I have another opinion. You have million people and each one has an opinion. But rather we researched it for a long, long time. I show you the book that we wrote about this topic. It's a huge book about the modern history of Chinese medicine. And so what the conclusion that we make about using this or not that, what's working, what's not working, comes out of a very extensive research and practical application. Not just, you have a lot of people that do a lot of research and they have an opinion. In my opinion, we should do this or not that. But I think the more we dig into it and do deep research, the more we see what's more relevant, what's less relevant, and it's easier to decide which to use, what not to use.
So people will learn about diagnostic, how to use acupuncture.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, I'll just share with you really in more concrete terms what Hunyuan medicine is. And so I'll bring here another view where we have a whiteboard, so I can just draw on it and just make this connection all the way from theory to practical application. Now right now we have 2-3 minutes, so I can't really do what we do in 3 days, but just to give you the gist of it. The way we see the human body in Chinese medicine is that it has 3 folds or 3 legs, we call it, for the medicine. And these 3 legs, we describe it as the following. We say the human being has a physical body that goes through cyclical motion conforming to nature. In other words, nature has cyclical motion like day and night, and the body follows with it together. We call this a unification separation motion, and we draw it as a circle. I write at the bottom of the circle number 1 and at the top of the circle number 2, and this we call a unification separation circle. In other words, the body goes to sleep and wake up, goes to sleep and wake up. Other than that, we say in order for us to live, we also have what we call a unification ability or recharging ability, and we draw it as a circle at the bottom of the first circle. Again, this is a little abstract, but in the seminar we go into it in much more detail. So the physical body, different parts, is what in the Shanghanlun we call the Taiyang, Shaoyang, Yangming, Taiyin, Shaoyin, Jueyin. These are like the 6 pieces of the part, 6 pieces of the circle. But in the bottom of the circle, what we call a Shaoyin energy in the Shanghanlun, this is in regular language, in modern language, it's called the unification ability, or number 1. And in the unification ability, there's an entire story that we need to develop and discover. So in the body, how the body works in harmony with nature, how we eat food, how we digest food, how we wake up, this is the big circle. This we're going to analyze in detail. Each part of the circle, what's going on. Like what is it doing? How does the symptoms look like if it doesn't work, right? This is the body. And then we have the question of unification at the bottom of the circle. We'll talk about it separately and go deep into that, unification. Like what does it take for the person to recharge energy from nature? This is called unification. Like take energy, air, water, food, and make the energy mine. This is called unification ability, and this is an entire few hours lecture on its own that we will discover. Other than that, in Hunyuan medicine, we have what we call the fire inner circle, or the heart ability to separate emotion. We call it the dichotomy, the basic desires of likes and dislike, and how emotion discharge from it, and how does that impact the body. These are like the three different aspects of Hunyuan medicine. The physical body, what's going on? The unification ability, what's going on with that? And the heart, what's going that with the energy of the heart, separating desires and emotions. As far as theory, we'll cover all of these, and then we're going to start learning how herbs impact the circle, how to help unification, like how to bring the body back into harmony. When this is slowing down or speeding up, certain herbs or certain formulas can reach this objective. When the unification is weak, then certain herbs and acupuncture techniques will help restore that. And when the heart is in disharmony, we cannot use herbs or acupuncture. We use what we call Shinfa, or heart method, and we will talk about that too. So this is the three different treatment methods that fits with the body circle, with the unification ability, and with the heart harmony. Again, we'll talk about the herbs, the acupuncture, and the Shinfa method, the treatment. How is that connected? And I'll show and I'll teach everybody it's very, very tightly connected. Understanding what's going on and what to do about it, which herbs to use, how to use acupuncture to restore what we want to accomplish. Everything is very, very clear. So this is about the treatment and the theory. Yeah.
Thank you for the explication. Yeah, it was very good. Seidman, you are known to Hunyuan fertility method, and we will address this method in seminar a little bit. Can you
Sure. So for many years I've been researching fertility and see many fertility patients. I also show you a couple of the books that we specifically wrote about fertility. This one, Hunyuan fertility, and this curing fertility. Like research it in great depth, and you know, as part of my doctoral degree, I also spent 300 hours in an IVF clinic. So I have very close relationship with fertility. Just to characterize Hunyuan fertility medicine, it's a part of this big picture. In other words, when we learn this picture that I just showed on the whiteboard, you can split out of it many different kinds of medicine. Sport medicine, and migraine medicine, and fertility medicine. You can actually do everything from it. But fertility medicine for me has a special importance because we're talking about creating new life, and the Hunyuan medicine altogether is about life. So creating new life is very much related here to all these circles that we see on the whiteboard. The one characteristic that Hunyuan medicine has is that we think that creating new life is not only physical affair. So it's not only sperm and an egg getting together like in an IVF, but rather there's other issues, and we will talk about this, what we call pivot, or energy in the egg and energy in the sperm. Here I'm just drawing briefly, we call it splitting a pivot. Like from the unification ability of the mother and the father, there is a splitting of pivot and energy that goes with the egg and the sperm. And we will talk about that. What does it mean? How to get it better? You know, and the success that I have in the clinic with fertility is remarkable. Not by helping IVF, but rather on our own. Recovering the people's strength or unification ability, making the egg quality stronger and the sperm better. The sperm again and the eggs are different issues. We'll talk about them in the class. But Hunyuan medicine, the way we understand it, is different than modern fertility medicine that very much hope to follow IVF, and there's all kind of issue with follicular phase and luteal phase. You know, it's all like Western medicine stuff that we try to put Chinese medicine in. Hunyuan medicine has a very unique idea of the pivot of energy in the eggs and this, which is very Chinese medicine, not Western medicine. And we'll talk about it. We'll dedicate maybe 2-3 hours for that. after we know how to understand the body and how to use the herbs in acupuncture, learning about fertility is very easy because we already know everything, like how to use the herbs in acupuncture. Then you just need this other angle of understanding the eggs and the sperm, and then it's done. It's not like a completely different topic. It's the same topic of the entire seminar. You just need to add a little bit more information, and then everything becomes clear. So this is a few words about Hunyuan fertility medicine. Yeah, well, normally when we go to seminar, just recently I gave a seminar in Brazil. You might see it in Portuguese, all the feedback. I put them on the website. I think people liked it a lot. It's the reason people like the seminars a lot is not because it's 3 days. It's not because I talk a lot. It's because, first of all, we bring new ideas and they are very clear. All of a sudden, everything becomes very clear. The practitioners feel it in their stomach. This makes sense. And this is, I remember when I started to learn, when I had some good teachers in the past, when I was like at the beginning of my way, I remember that feeling. Sometime I learned Chinese medicine. It's like, I don't know, I don't understand. People say stuff and it's classic and this, but there's no logic. But then there were teachers talking and you feel it in your stomach. Like it's clear, very clear. And then you try to use it and it works like you think it should work. And this feeling, normally participants in the seminars like very much. To be clear, everything becomes clear. And then when they go home and they use it, they say, wow, like it's really like this. Like it's really working the way I think it should. So this, we bring to the seminars. And in 3 days, it's a long time. But normally people, I tell them, let's finish at 5 o'clock. And then I look at the watch, it's 6, 7. People don't want to go. And I always know it's a good sign. When people don't want to leave, it's a very good sign. They're like, I'm sitting here. As long as you're talking, I'm not going anywhere. Like I'm going to lose. I'm going to miss something. So this is typically the feedbacks I get in seminar, and I hope to do the same also in our seminar. Yeah, this will be great. I heard you have great steaks or something. Right?
Stay in Portugal.
Is there great steaks in Portugal? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to offend any vegetarian, but maybe we'll have a piece of steak or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, nice to meet. Yeah. Okay, I have one last question. In one sentence, what can we expect from this seminar?
We should expect to come out knowing different things that we never knew before. This will be pretty much a summary, things that we never knew before. But yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. The way that I do the seminar, this is just more than one sentence about just talking about myself giving seminars. I start at the beginning, I look at the group, if it's 20, 30, 50 people, you look in the eyes and you see people want to know, and then I get into a state of trance, like I don't know what I'm saying, and I get out of it after 3 days. It's like the heart is there and I'm getting very happy to share whatever I know, and normally people like it very much, the clarity, the amount of information that we put through. And again, at the end, all what we want to do is to help people, to help the patients. And when you see that these things make sense and they really work and they have very deep meaning, not only that they relieve the symptoms, but very deep meaning about the life and the consequences, the positive consequences that we can give to our patients in strengthening their unification, in putting the heart in harmony, what it means and how to do it. I think normally people are very moved by how much we could accomplish after coming out of this seminar. And of course, the seminar, we couldn't say that it exhausts everything and we should never learn again, but it is definitely a very good step to start in a good direction. And after that, many people pursue Hunyuan. Oftentimes I get people come to me and they said, I don't know what to do because I realize how important it is, how real it is, but I'm not 100% confident and I have patients tomorrow. What am I going to do? Like, I can't do the old stuff anymore. Like, I know that this has to be different now, but I'm not 100% sure. This is actually very positive. It's not bad. It's very positive. When someone all of a sudden sees the light and he says, wow, I have to do it, this is actually very encouraging, you know. So this is in a few sentences kind of summarizing this whole thing, you know. Yeah.
So, okay.